Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's panel discussion on building bridges through entrepreneurship. I am Sim, and I've been involved with UWC for 2 years now. I went to a short course in 2023 and then another short course in Germany in 2024.
And I am Vasilis Leonidou. I also went to UWC Cyprus short course in 2023, and I went to UWC Spain Action Exchange short course in 2024. In the current climate, we need more examples in Cyprus where collaboration and innovation of its people can serve as a powerful tool for peace building.
And entrepreneurship offers a unique platform to bridge divides, encourage economic interdependence, and create shared opportunities across communities.
Today, we are privileged to have with us 4 remarkable representatives from different initiatives who are not only shaping the future of business, but are also contributing to the vision of a united and peaceful Cyprus.
Through their ventures, they are demonstrating how entrepreneurship can transcend borders and bring people together in pursuit of common goals. On that note, please allow me to introduce our esteemed panelist, Annita Tsolaki, Innovation Programs Specialist at Social Tech Lab.
Hasan Siber, founder and CEO of Relive.
Muhit Ince, founder Trade Greenline.
And last but not least, Vasilis Joseph, CEO of Freya Labs, who is running a little late and is not. Wait. No, he came.
On that note, we would like to kickstart our panel discussion by asking our panelists how do they use entrepreneurship as a tool for peace building.
Test.
Works. Hi. Morning.
Hello.
I can start if you want. Yes, please.
How do they use entrepreneurship as a tool for peace?
Microphone.
How do we use?
How do you use entrepreneurship as a tool for peace building?
Okay. Just to introduce myself first, I think. My name is Annita. I come here representing Social Tech Lab and Cyprusino, which is powered by Social Tech Lab. Basically, Social Tech Lab is a non-for-profit organization here in Nicosia. It's been working 8 years now. It started with Cyprusino, that most of us know, I think, as a digital platform connecting entrepreneurs across the divide. We have more than 6,000 entrepreneurs and several digital tools online. And in the recent years, we also started the base by Cyprusino, which is actually situated here across the street next to the Lidera Palace. And it's our physical space. It's what we call social impact generator, because there we combine our research, and we have the physical space, and we do our capacity building. So basically, we use entrepreneurship as a tool to bring together entrepreneurs from across the divide and have them collaborate on their ideas. It's simple as that.
Same question?
Also introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Also introduce myself. My name is Hasan. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Relive. Relive, very shortly, we been in business for about 4 years and change. We work with farmers across the divide. So we have the honor of establishing the first business to operate island-wide. We directly work with family farms, especially olive farms, and then we export all our resulting olive oil in the US market, so in the USA. I'm very happy to be here, seeing all these new faces that is building on peace. Thank you for having me.
Yes, shall I? Good morning, everybody. My name is Muhit. I can feel the energy, although it's a Sunday morning. It's great to be here with you, with the younger generation, younger people. Sorry for making you guys feel old a little bit, but it's okay. My name is Muhit. I am the founder of, I'll use a common word in Greek and Turkish, which will you understand. The Dabella name is the trade green line. I have 2 companies which have been established on both sides of the divide. So the idea is basically I trade the locally produced products across the island, across 5-6 different sectors, including supermarket products, paper products, furniture, wood products, and packaging products. My company in the north is also the distributor, the representative of Caterways products. Maybe you know the name from the market. They are the biggest packaging supplier in the south, in the Republic, let's say. So this is basically what I do. I trade products across the island. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Vasilis, and we are a startup based dealing with fermentation and preservation. We use bacteria, yeast, and fungi to create our products, which are healthy and sustainable. Our team is international and from both sides of the island and other parts of the world. And we don't see borders in what we do. We just do it because we make people's lives healthier and more sustainable.
Okay. To start off, I have a question for Annita. What are some of the key challenges and successes you've experienced while working with entrepreneurs from all over the island and also beyond? And how has Cyprus Inno contributed to a culture of collaboration in this context?
Well, that's a nice question. I've been recently joined the team, so I don't know the challenges since the very beginning that they started, because it was founded by Burak and Steven. And I assume that 8 years ago, that concept was like completely new for Cyprus. And I think it was the first time that they tried to do something here in the buffer zone as well. So I imagine they had some challenges in bringing people together and making people understand the concept of what they do in the first place. But I think we have more successful stories and nice stories to share than challenges, because we're dealing with entrepreneurship as a tool. So basically people come at our space to share experiences and find ways to collaborate. So basically they don't talk about peace building and the Cyprus problem, we don't put them on a table and say, let's find a solution. It comes natural that we meet each other and we find common things to discuss and common challenges that we face as entrepreneurs across the divide. And I think some successful stories that I can share, we have several events and programs that we do. One of the ones that I really like is the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs. It's a program supported by the US Embassy, and we have it for the second time here in Cyprus. And basically we have women entrepreneurs from across the island, from different communities, coming together and working on their business skills, helping them to build their ideas or accelerate their businesses. And we also see them that they continue their relationship even beyond our programs. Some numbers that we have is like 40% of our participants, it was the first time that they came in the buffer zone for one of our programs. And 60% of them, it was the first time that they've met a Greek or Turkish Cypriot. So I think the numbers kind of show that, you know, we bring people for an event about entrepreneurship, and they come and they meet people that they have similar ideas and visions for Cyprus, and then they come together and they become friends and they collaborate. So it's just like that. We have several other projects that we bring also young people like you to come and accelerate their ideas or start their own ventures. So we bring them together and they stay friends. I think that's the main outcome of what we do.
Thank you.
Now, a question for Muhit Ince. What challenges have you faced in building a business that operates across the Green Line, and how have you overcome them to ensure smooth and equitable trade?
Great question. Well, the obstacles we face every single day, I can tell you, about bureaucracy, about insustainability, all the procedures crossing across the divide. But if you're an entrepreneur, you manage to overcome those obstacles at some point, because you have to get it done. And once you have the passion and once you know the correct people, you try to point those obstacles and then overcome that. I can give you a recent example from last week. I've been trading over 6 years across the divide through Green Line from north to south. And we've been crossing the same product, I don't know how many times, maybe 15 times a year. The same product, same color, same paint. For some reason, last week, we were rejected. We were rejected because we were not well informed about the changing rules and regulations and legislation across the divide. The products that we were trying to cross was classified as construction material. And when you consider construction material, there are some requirements. Well, I mean, this is very understandable, but crossing, as I said, more than 15 times a year, over 7 years, and just this happening all of a sudden, just it's an obstacle in front of you that you have to tackle. And we went to the authorities, we tried to explain with the pictures, with everything. Still going on, but I have the hope that this week we're going to have the positive result, and we will be able to cross again. So we have practical obstacles, also mentality-wise obstacles. So when you go to a client, when you go to a customer, especially when you get away from the borderline, you go to Limassol, you go to Paphos, people, they have their own agendas. And they are kind of like, for me, they're like in a bubble, because as you get distance from the border, the Cyprus problem or this kind of trade or relationship or partnership, let's say, it's not in your everyday agenda. So you try to explain first what is Green Line, how it works, and then from there you start getting the questions. You try to clarify their minds. You have to give them some courage. You have to push them. You have to be with them. And then that's how you become partners. Actually, that's how you become partners. And then you start communicating. You start pointing the challenges with a common vision and common goal. And from there, you start to walk together. So the obstacle in the beginning turns out to be great partnerships in the end, if you try to walk in the correct way towards the same goal. So obstacles every day, mentality obstacles all the time. But as an entrepreneur, just you have to keep in mind, if you have the passion, if there's a will, there's always a way. So this is what I can recommend you or suggest you to have the entrepreneurship mentality. Even though you don't become entrepreneurs in trade, but try to become entrepreneurs in your everyday life. Try to become more practical. Try to become, try to be proactive against all the problems that you come across with. So the mentality of entrepreneurship is the essence, actually, overcoming all these obstacles. So this is my recommendation. Thank you.
Now, a question for Hasan Siber from Relive. Who are the farms you work with owned by, and was it hard to get them to start working with you, considering you are a bi-communal company?
So all the farms are owned by families, Greek Cypriot and Turkish Cypriot. We try to keep a 50-50 balance, not always happening for the past 4 years. It was literally 50-50 when we first started. People don't consider you, one of the things in business is that people don't consider a bi-communal company. For me, it's always Hasan going to the south and talking to Greek Cypriot farmers in English. And when we first started, also me and Alexandros, a friend and a partner of mine, coming in the north and trying to do business with families. So they don't take it as it's a bi-communal company, but it's rather it's a very visceral, what I mean is a very physical meeting, a very physical confrontation of like, I'm a Turkish Cypriot and he's a Greek Cypriot and like, let's do business together. If it's gonna evolve that way, it evolves that way. And if it's a no, if it's a no, if it's a yes, it's a yes. Usually before the meeting, it's solvable. So if someone has a like political or emotional background or whatever they carry with them, it usually shows in the first minutes or before the meeting. So it doesn't happen every day. We're blessed and very, very lucky to work with family farms across the divide. These are big, these are very dedicated people that look after their trees and become great partners for us in the past and now. Thank you.
Now, we have a question for Vasilis. Your work emphasizes the use of natural and local ingredients. How does promoting Cypriot food heritage through Feria Labs contribute to a shared sense of identity and community across different parts of the island?
Well, food is the universal lubricant, let's say. It connects us. It's what keeps us alive. And we can all identify, because we all eat, we share that. Additionally, we're going through some really hard times, and we're going to go through harder times. And we got to keep together to make it work and feed ourselves. I mean, global warming, rising populations, and food shortages. So even if it's not an identity, it's our survival. And if we don't work together, we're in really, really big trouble. Really. It's not about the divide, it's about keeping ourselves alive. Simple as that, yeah.
In what ways can entrepreneurs in the food industry, like Feria Labs, support sustainable practices while also encouraging cross-community collaboration and peace building?
Yeah. As an island, we have shortages of quality food in certain sectors. We require those resources, and we try to collaborate with both sides of the island to gather those resources, to give opportunities to everybody, and for us to have the raw material to create our products. Now, if I limit myself to a small part or a big part of the island, regardless, I'm not going to pull it off. And we have bigger fish out there rather than Cyprus. So working together provides us the resources we need to make it happen.
Now, if the audience has any questions they would like to ask any of the panelists, now you can. Like at the back.
They're going to provide you microphones.
Do you want the mics?
Yeah.
very much. I have a question for Hasan. You mentioned that you
Yes.
export most of the olive oil that you produce to the US.
Yes.
And I was wondering, is that to do with difficulty to trade in Cyprus? Is it to do with producing too much for the island? Why have you made that choice?
A great question. So I'll paraphrase the question a little bit, because our goal is to be a global company that every time you think olive, you think of peace, and I mean amazing food products. So we started with olive oil. The reason that we didn't want to do it in Cyprus is it was a twofold decision. One, it's the psychological thinking of both sides of like we're trading with each other, so it's a zero-sum game. A zero-sum game is I'm selling to you, I'm making more money than you, I have to be sort of benefiting from this relationship rather than both of us benefiting when we export. So a lot of the things like, oh, is it cheaper in the north? Which is the assumption, which is not. So, or is it more, they have more purchasing power in the south, which is not always the case. So for us, yes, it's becoming more of a question for people that support the mission behind the company, asking for products in Cyprus is one thing. And the second is like when you start building a business just for like, I'm gonna trade north to south or south to north, it becomes a different psychological intention. Right now, we are making the two sides bigger than what they are individually. So we're trying to create something bigger, and that's why we export everything that we can, and we're starting to kind of think of ways to do in Cyprus. Thanks. Thank you.
So my question is to Vasilis. Yeah, you have mentioned food shortages and rising populations. I'm on the same page with you. I have similar concerns. But I would like to ask you how food waste plays into that when you think about Republic of Cyprus being the biggest food waster in the entire of the European Union in comparison to its proportions. So is there a way to, in your opinion, link that back into the system as you sound so concerned?
So we do fermentation and preservation, okay? 40% of the entire world's food is being wasted. It's not just Cyprus, it's a big problem. So that is one of our main objectives to tackle. So it's health sustainability. Sustainability is tackling food waste. Through fermentation, we can utilize food waste, and it is a very circular process. We can take somebody's byproduct and create something of value, which is what we do. We've used coffee, we've used stuff which can't be sold, and this goes all parts of the island, all parts of the world, everything. I mean, 40%, think about it. You have a plate of food, and you just throw away 40% of it. What's that all about? So we utilize that, and we want to utilize more of it. And fermentation is a key part of using that waste to create products. So yeah, it is a big problem.
You answered my question, thank you. Yeah.
So my question is for everyone. I like to ask you to like, how do you promote your company, and how do you reach out to people from all of the island? What difficulties do you face while you face both Turkish-speaking Cypriots and Greek-speaking Cypriots?
Basically, we do lots of client visits together with our partners. Give an example from Caterways. We definitely visit our clients one-to-one, at least 3-4 times a year, quarterly we can say. So the first idea is to keep on the eye on the market, to see the competition, and also to give our support to our clients, to our partners who are interested in selling our products and promoting our products. So basically, I don't use too much social media or any advertisement, because my personal experience is when you try to get too big, at some point you get blocked through competition, through bureaucracy, through anything, because for me, still the green line trade is not sustainable. From the example that I just gave you in my previous talk, that's why we are trying to go lower scale, although our potential is much bigger. But we don't want to tackle anybody in the market, causing any problems. That's why we do all our visits one by one. We visit them, as I told you, a couple of times a year. And that's how we're trying to promote and get bigger and bigger. Same in the South. I go B2B. I don't go to the end users. We try to become partners with companies, with businesses, because they know the local market more than anybody else. And we don't want to go into the market as a Turkish Cypriot, let's say, and announce that, it's a Turkish Cypriot product, because there are a lot of concerns and still mentality blockage in that sense. That's why B2B is our main strategy while penetrating the market in the South. In the North, we don't have any problem. We just do one-by-one visits. That's how we go all around the island. Thank you.
Good morning, panelists. My name is Peter Verhille from UWC International. I have a question for Muhit, and in fact, all of the panelists, if they wish. And it's about linking entrepreneurship with learning at school. The question is, do you see any opportunities to introduce entrepreneurship thinking and acting through the existing school systems, both in the north and in the south of Cyprus? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Peter. Well, I was trying to point that in my previous talk. Entrepreneurial spirit and mindset is something that you can link to everything, in learning, in business, in any part of the education, because entrepreneurial mindset requires, as I said, to be proactive and to overcome the obstacles. The biggest obstacle that we are coming across on the island is all these political situations that we are in. So I agree with Vasilis. We don't deal with the divide. We don't really think about the divide. We think about the entire island without any obstacle. When we try to set up new line, new business, new product, whatever we're trying to do, first we take the step, and then afterwards we try to tackle the bureaucracy, the obstacle that we come across with. So in learning, I think the same kind of mentality, without thinking the obstacles, just you have to go through whatever you see it's correct, or whatever you think it's going to work out for you. So this is something that can be implemented in the school system that we are, and I also mentioned to this Peter in our interview a couple of months ago. We try to implement the kids entrepreneurial program into the school education system in the north. It's basically about the mindset. It's basically about learning different professions, learning different characteristics of entrepreneurial spirit, and how to use that in their everyday life. That's why I think it's very valuable to have the mindset, and from there to keep pushing things that you are passionate about in learning, in life, in whatever you are trying to go through. So yes, I mean, entrepreneurial mindset is the essence of coming across all these obstacles.
Hey, yes. Hello. My name is Laura. I represent the United Network for Young Peace Builders. Thank you very much for your talk. I think it's very inspiring seeing how essentially you're doing confidence building across the island. Thank you very much. I hope my question is not too political, so feel free to answer however you'd like. I was wondering which kind of next steps would you like to see, in particular on an institutional level, either from your national governments or from the EU, to be able to continue doing your work better and scale the very important work that you're doing. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna answer the difficult questions in the panel apparently. So yeah, I think next steps are like what it's. I think it's super simple. Like every kind of farmer that we talk to, obviously for me, it's the sourcing part is the more important than kind of selling what kind of Muhit does across the border, and you essentially deal with like two different regulatory bodies, and this is very, very different. So if I were to build a farm in the north, my next steps will look very different than what I will be in the south. If I'm selling in the north, it will look very different than selling in the south. So this sort of political status quo is the problem itself. So it's not like what entrepreneurs are, they're unsatisfied and optimistic. Unsatisfied that we're trying to change a problem that we're seeing. We're optimistic that we're using what is in our power, not looking 10, 20 years in the future. I can say like I want the same regulatory power over every farmer, every single company, all over the island, but we don't have it now. So what we do is like we're trying to circumvent or we're trying to work with authorities currently that kind of goes toward that. Like when Muhit deals with an authority body, I'm not speaking, I'm not putting words in his mouth, but he doesn't have the power of voting to get that person accountable. Like this is the problem, right? So if he's dealing with the north, he doesn't, some Alexandros or Andres Bambos, whatever, doesn't have the voting, like power of voting to do that because the constitution is suspended. However you want to sort of flip, like this is very European, this is not European, like there are very different terms and adjectives to do that. But we're essentially dealing with two different regulatory bodies. Let's put it that way, and it really shows in the background. It shows in Cyprus, which we're one of the original partners. Like it really shows in every facet of what you're doing. So the next steps is this sort of, I hope that people like Muhit, myself, Annita, Vasilis will multiply, or there will be so many of them that we will take it for granted. Like yeah, it just passes through. So how can we do borderless trade? Like how can we, like what is the sort of compromise there? How can we sell without a green line in the middle, and what are the sort of things that we need to do in order to achieve that? I think it's the very simple next step and question. And who's gonna negotiate that is I think the question here. I hope that answers a little bit.
I want to add something just real quick, institution-wise. From south to north perspective, there's a VAT applicable to each invoice, and this subject has been around for a long time, and we've been putting in the middle of our debates with the authorities. So from south to north, there's always 19% VAT that we need to be charged on an invoice, and that makes us less competitive in the northern market. The reason is because of the political perspective of the republic to the north authorities, let's say. So that's one of the next things that I want to see be tackled in the future. If that happens, then there will be more people in the south who will be willing to sell to the north more competitively and with more passion, because the 19% is something that nobody gets back, nobody puts in their pocket, but it's the government who puts in the pocket. So basically when you do trade, we are free partners in the south, in the north, and the Republic of Cyprus in this case. Thank you.
So good morning. Thank you all very much for your insight. This is just to all of you. So as we all anticipate, the main aim of any business is to maximize profits. Obviously, each of you have other goals, like for Vasilis, let's say, the well-being of our planet. However, do you believe that if Cyprus was united, businesses would be able to maximize profits even more? What's your opinion on this? Thank you.
I think it would just be one Cyprus competing against the rest of the world. Yeah, we wouldn't be looking at it north and south if it was one. We'd be looking at other things. So yes, we can kind of take advantage of the situation as it is now and try to solve it. But if it was one Cyprus, it would just be one Cyprus, right? And we'd be looking at maximizing. It wouldn't change. It would just be a bigger population. It doesn't really change much for me, because the way I look at it is, food is accessible for everybody. If somebody wants to get my product, or if I need raw material, I'll make that happen. Does it change my market size? Well, it complicates the situation now, but it doesn't change anything because I'm still open. So for me, it doesn't really affect that much. For your kind of businesses, yeah, it's a bit different.
So I think yeah, again, difficult question. I mean, actually, it's not that difficult. So I really do understand, like, okay, because they usually take it's for my business, because we do a lot in the US and we talk about peace. Social business is not a real business, is usually the understanding. So I understand, like, really cutthroat and get to, like, profits. Don't tell me about peace and tell me about profits. So let's take by case, like case by case, we need to take that. So KO or Loyal is a more profitable company because they're willing to trade to the north. So in any supermarket in the North Cyprus, you'll be able to see a KO beer and a Loyal Zivania. So just buy the same fixed cost. I'm not going to go into details about VATs and stuff like that. They are 30%, have 30% more business. So they have 30% more profit because they don't have the fixed cost. Okay, maybe a little less profit. So we need to take it as profitability as a one indicator and overall revenue is another indicator. This is a physical product. In terms of digital product, it really depends on, like, what your market is. Like, if your market is I'm gonna market it to the whole Cyprus, and again, we're coming to the same thing. Me and maybe Vasilis is not like we are trying to sell abroad, because it's not I don't want to be, not to take on Muhit, or it kind of, I don't want to, the profitability of, like, the zero-sum game, I'm going to come back to it. I think if you're not solving any value, you're not going to be able to compete. Like, that's the first thing. So that's why we talk about there's a divide. So if he doesn't do a better job, he's not going to be able to sell his products. That's end of the question. So in terms of profitability, then you started doing other indicators. I wouldn't say, like, a business and profitability as the first thing. Yes, it's a very, very, very important thing, but it's always in the comparison of, like, in other olive oil business, in other, like, a panel and installation business, and other fermentation business. Then it's a good indicator of doing it. I wouldn't look at it as, like, a United Cyprus is more profitable or less profitable. I think that's very simple. It's too simplifying, of course. It's a good question, but I think it's too simplification of the business processes that goes through the business. You want another microphone? Okay. Annita agrees.
Maybe we'll have more profit because we have less things to deal with. So overall, we could have just a simpler, it's just more efficiency, more.
One thing about the profitability, like, okay, take on Muhit, like this VAT issue. The VAT issue is a very simple political issue. Super simple political issue. A country charges VAT for inner country transactions. Why? Because they supply the core system. I mean, this is the basic, like, financial economic system 101. What they're saying in the South is, like, we treat North, it's not a different country. That's what they're saying. And the North is saying it's a different country. This is the VAT issue. So if you treat all Cyprus as one, you have to pay VAT, no questions asked. But he's paying VAT, but he's not getting any voting power, any judicial system. Plus, he's getting obstacles in front of him, right? So is it more profitable not paying 19%? Yes, 19%. Very fine mathematically. If you have the one Cyprus, he's more profitable selling cattle-raised product to North coffee shop. There's a regulatory cost to it, but at the end of the day, in this case, it's more profitable. For me, let's do more interactive. How many people think olive oil in the north costs cheaper than olive oil in the south? Really? The north is cheaper than the south? Is like maybe 2-3%. So olive oil in the north is more expensive actually in the south because it's a more protected area in the north, right? So let me give you another example. If I were to trade olive oil from Turkey to south, it's cheaper because I don't have VAT, I don't have, Turkey is in the European Union Customs Union. Even the basic razors, okay, is cheaper in the south than in the north. Because north is not in the customs union, is an isolated area. So when you say one Cyprus, you're 19% mathematically more profitable the first minute that it's a single island. So I think there's a different circumvent of answering your question.
Elaborating on what, yes, for this, but, okay, 15 seconds. Well, one United Cyprus is doesn't only mean bigger population. It means sustainable region. Sustainable region means you have better relationship with your neighboring countries, with European Union, with everybody. So you expect bigger domestic population, bigger tourist attraction, let's say, and with more sustainable neighboring relationship, then you'll be able to find cheaper products, more productive products, more competitive products around. So the societies will be much better and well off from all these from the solution through this way, and that's why we have to have the solution at some point, just to have the sustainability. Without the solution, the sustainability will not be there ever. Thank you.
Thank you, Muhit, and thank you to all of you. We have to end now, but as always, the conversation is still open. You guys can find them anytime you'd like. I'm sure they'll be okay with talking about it. But yeah, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. We have just completed the last plenary of the Leadership Forum. And in the next couple of minutes, I will be going through some housekeeping notes. But before that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Shadiye Işısal. I started to work for EU Scholarship Program for Cypriot Youth with UWC 6 months ago at the buffer zone. And to give a little bit of background on myself, my presence in the buffer zone actually started 12 years ago, while I was 15, 16 years old, like you are, to find engagement with the other part of the community. And thereon, the immense opportunities has opened the doors, and I had the opportunity to meet with international students all around the island with the purpose of peace building, engagement of education and culture for so many years. So therefore, this forum for us and for you creates such importance and holds value that I would like to follow through the schedule of the day where we will be following through. So what's next is the tracked breakout rooms from 10:15 to 11:15 as yesterday. And you can find the breakout rooms direction just outside of this building on the left. And break time is scheduled for 11:15, and the program will resume at 11:30 with UWC experience workshops. And you are very welcome to choose which one you would like to attend. And we will have an extended lunch from 1 to 2:30 p.m. And then for those who didn't watch the very inspiring documentary screening called Journey into Cyprus, it will be screened at this main hall. And we are pleased to inform you that the documentary maker, Yalçın Adal, will open the floor, and you will have the chance to meet with him and ask as many questions as you can. From 2:30 to 4 p.m., is a dedicated slot for our youth participants to get prepared with their mentors, and then the floor will be taken by youth-led talks on youth inclusion, peace education, and Europe and peace. Closing remarks will be delivered at 5:30 p.m. by the networking and dinner at the outside of the Chateau Status. A night without music would be a miss, so we are going to have the Island Seed Band to cherish and dance. Today is the last day of the Leadership Forum, and we wish you are making the most of it. We hope that this experience will be one of the building blocks of your growth journey. And thank you. To give a little bit of information for the track 3B, it is going to be at the back of the H4C, so it is located there today. So thank you so much.